On July the 29th, 2022, Beyonce released her album Renaissance, and almost immediately, Kelis accused Beyonce of stealing from her. This sparked an investigation theory by content creators, and in the case of Beyonce versus the industry, here's what I discovered. Kim Kardashian wore a black Versace dress to the Met Gala after party in 2018. The people threw a fit because, to them, it was yet another chance to point out Kim's desperate attempts to copy a black woman, in this instance, Beyonce. Kim tried to befriend the mega entertainer for years. Sidebar: Beyonce is a tough woman with many layers. She presents diligent and down-to-earth, with a touch of class and elegance, but not too much to make one feel alienated. She is guarded yet open and enthusiastic. A woman with this amount of depth is never easy to befriend, especially not by someone like an overexposed, look-obsessed Kim Kardashian, who has a completely different agenda. Beyonce wore this same dress on the cover of Complex magazine in 2011. But guess who wore it for their 007 birthday party theme way back in 2006? Kelis. And guess who was in attendance at this party? Beyonce. So, in short, Kelis wore the dress first. Beyonce has many ties to producers, and they have worked with many other artists, for example, Frank Gatsby and Pharrell. These two producers have worked with A-Marie and Kelis. In particular, they have created a specific sound for that artist. Meanwhile, artists have signed bad deals, been passed over, and left the industry. However, their projects have been sampled and remade to benefit other artists or the chosen artists. This leaves the exploited artists feeling jaded and hurt because they, in many instances, did not receive royalties from their original work. Beyonce has absorbed and observed so many artists in the industry. She's watched talents from Aaliyah to Kelis excel and perfect their craft. Beyonce witnessed their style. She did have her own talents to get her where she is now, but she definitely had help along the way. Notice that it wasn't until she dropped her father as a manager and started taking counsel from Jay-Z that she started doing a little bit of imitating. After all, didn't her husband, rapper Jay-Z, once said in his song Breathe Easy that once you memorize a sentence, the rest is just an exercise? Remember, Beyonce was young in the game too, and she lost her writing credits for songs she wrote for Destiny's Child. So she knows how it feels to be cheated out of royalties. There was an era in the early 2000s where Pharrell and Jay-Z made hit after hit, and one of the songs, Change Clothes, Jay-Z even says, he and the boy Pharrell makes beautiful music. This is how Jay-Z and Pharrell's relationship began. And obviously with Beyonce and Jay-Z being a couple, Jay-Z would have introduced Beyonce to Pharrell. And the rest, as they say, is history. When Beyonce released her 2013 hit song, Drunk in Love, on December the 17th, it sounded great, and with Jay-Z's paired rap lyrics, it was hypnotic. But when they performed at the 2014 Grammys on January the 26th, the performance looked vaguely familiar. I couldn't remember exactly where I had seen this style of singer and rapper husband act this chair and standing tease out before, until it hit me. Kelis and her then rapper husband Nas did the same act in her song and music video Blindfold Me in 2005, where Kelis sits in a chair and Nas seductively touches her face, and there is even a very similar beach scene in that same video as Beyonce has in her song Drunk in Love. Ever wonder what happened to the singer A-Marie, who was popular in the early 2000s? Let's see, who was newly made solo artist during that same time? Beyonce. Thanks to fellow content creator Naomi Cannibal for mentioning that A-Marie went on The Breakfast Club, and in her interview she stated that
A-Marie does seem like she's moved on from the situation and doesn't want to breed any more gossip or negativity. She comes off as a really genuine person and like someone who is too moral and humble to partake in some of the more cutthroat behavior that helps people make it in the industry. Also, in that same interview, Amory said that she had a visual for a future song where she wanted to be naked on a horse.
Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that because I still have visions of like being nude on a horse. I want to ride a horse nude, and I still have that for a video.
What's stopping you?
I was like, oh, it has to be no, it has to be the right song. It has to be the right moment.
Point is that the music industry is not a place to spew out wonderful artistic ideas that can propel a career without having it copyrighted, under contract, or owned by your own media company. Unless you want to have the hottest chick in the game doing it years later as if they were the originator. Beyonce is definitely one of my favorite artists, and when she drops a project, I support and fangirl. But when another artist screams theft, I do my research and due diligence to say it ain't so. But in these instances, I have to say yes, it is so. Hello good people, this is Avril Hatala, and I want to remind you that some things being shared in this video is under the Fair Use Copyright Act of 1976. The comments and opinion in this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only.